So the steps for calculating my confidence interval, there are 4, and I want to start by identifying the parameter of interest. Is it a p hat or an x bar? Then I want to check the conditions for that parameter. Remember, the conditions check are a little different for p hats than they are for x bars. And for that, I'll refer back up to number 2 at the top of this page. Really, the only difference is the normality check. And then I'll find the critical value. So for the p hat, it will be a z star. And for x bar, it'll be a t star. As a matter of fact, we'll put underneath this. So this one's for p hat. And this one is for x bar. And then last but not least, I must interpret this. Here's where your writing skills come in handy. The interval and of course the interpretation must be, like everything else in statistics, in context. So a few problems where you get to check the conditions and figure out what pieces are that you need to find useful. In terms of the population for this first prompt, after you've read it first. It would be people who have purchased cars. And then the sample would be the 167 car purchasers surveyed. And then the proportion, the P, would be all car buyers who were dissatisfied versus P hat would be the 3% dissatisfied from the sample. And then in terms of whether or not I can use the rules or if I can apply the methods, there's a couple of things that are going on. Number one, I don't know about this random sample. It said surveyed, so that's kind of iffy. So iffy on the SRS. But remember, when I'm checking conditions for p hat problems, I have to check to see if n times p is greater than or equal to 10. Now, since I don't have p in the p hat problems, I'm going to have to use p hat to do the checking. And so when I check 167 times 0.03, it is definitely not greater than or equal to 10. So this would be a for sure no, just for that reason right there. And then moving on to the next one, of course the population would be all the potato plants, specifically in the US, and my sample would be the 240 potato plants in the field, and my proportion that I'm interested in would be all the plants with blight, and the sample proportion would be the 7 out of 240, which I think I calculated as 2.9%. And then as to whether or not I am okay with moving ahead and I've checked all the conditions, well, they did talk about random sample. They'll usually say randomly. And for normality test, again, I have to do n times p hat, because it's the only thing I have, greater than or equal to 10. And when I check 240 times 0.029, again, definitely not greater than or equal to 10. So no, I could not proceed with my confidence interval calculations. All right, I will see you in class tomorrow. Bye, statisticians.